Okay. As I get started, just in terms of housekeeping, so we will be recording the session, okay? So if you do not want to be seen in a recording, turn off your video, okay, which you can do. But we will be recording it and we will put it up on our YouTube channel, okay? Ask questions throughout. You can type your questions, and then at some point, or probably at several different points, we'll say, hey, like Marilyn, Morag, and Angela will be looking at the questions and will ask away. So Angela, Marilyn, and Morag are the co-hosts. So they're just going to kind of keep an eye on things because I'm not going to do that while I'm talking. Also, speaker mode and gallery mode have different views. So try the two different views. Gallery view gives you all of the different participants, or at least a selection of, and the speaker mode highlights either the presentation or the speaker as we go through things. Okay. So normally I start talking and give a few comments about things, but we're going to do things differently tonight. We have the Zirkova vodkas instead of a sparkling, and we have John Belinga, who is with us tonight, and I'm going to turn it over to him to talk about the vodkas for the next 10 or 15 minutes. And actually, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so John, it's to you. I'm going to do a stop share.
Awesome, thank you so much. I'm just going to, hello, Burlington Wine Club. It's a total pleasure to be with you. I know we're a vodka, and I know sometimes vodka can have that sort of like, it's just some octane for your cocktails. We're one, it's just like created something kind of extraordinary. A little bit about who we are. Zirkova, we're a company here based in Houlton. We're based in Oakville, right next door to you guys. But we created two unique versions of our vodka because we wanted to create the best vodka in the world, but we realized there's really two ways that people drink it. So there's really the people that drink it straight on the rocks, in a martini, in soda, where the vodka is front and center and where it needs to carry the day. So if you're a martini person, and we've given you, I know we're doing a Caesar, but we also, I made sure that I included with Teresa a little sampler of Zirkova 1, and you should have 2 little bottles of Zirkova together, the red label. And what it does is it has this miraculous ability to enhance flavors, as you're about to discover. But this much better looking woman next to me is my wife. I'm the CEO, called Chief Experience Officer, but she's the CEO, Chief Executive Officer, which means Catherine is the boss. So I asked her to be here because A, she's much more photogenic than I, and she also is, you know, the boss. So
okay, yeah. Well, so honestly, what I love about what I'm seeing with your wine club is it's really all about everybody being at one table. Oh, are you sharing that?
Oh yeah, I'll share that. That's right. Yeah.
And I was really inspired during, you know, we've got Canada Day coming up, and during the Canada Day year-long 150th anniversary celebrations, there was this one event, which was really about having 1,000 people at one table on Parliament Hill. I'm sure we would have all loved to have been there. But for us, that was very important. So it's not just about vodka for us, it's that experience of toasting, appreciating, acknowledgement, and honoring, and everyone being part of things. This is our purpose. So it's really about everyone being a unique and vital part of the beautiful tapestry of humanity. So, and really uniting through uplifting moments of optimism and possibility. So the last thing is really around, we often say, be yourself, mix well with others as our tagline. And we feel very strongly about being having people have the freedom to be who you truly are, and really inspiring, uplifting moments that bring us together. Like what you're doing as a community. It's so inspiring.
You know, it's kind of funny. I mean, there's a double entendre here with the products. I mean, Zirkova 1 is by itself. Zirkova together is meant to be mixed. So in this, you know, few minutes we've got together, ironically, we're going to use together. But I, you know, before I left, I went to Teresa's and said, look, I want everybody to have a little mixer of Zirkova 1, because for those of you that love martinis or just want to try a little shot of this, it's going to blow your mind when you make a martini with it. But the fun part is we're going to actually make, you know, a Caesar with Zirkova together. And we created this vodka to be so inclusive, as Catherine said, like for the people that like to drink vodka neat on the rocks and soda, Zirkova 1, there's nothing can beat it. But, you know, so many times people have looked at vodka as being, I'm just going to mix it with stuff. Who cares? I'll just use whatever. I'll use the cheap stuff. I'll use, you know, whatever. Mm. And we wanted to actually change that conversation and say, what if we could actually make mixed drinks that taste better? What if we could actually do that? So for those of you that, you know, you have your little bottle of Together, and the reason I slipped Teresa an extra little bottle of Together was so you could have some fun with that. And if you've got anything in the fridge, and if you don't have it right now, that's fine. You can try this later with the extra bottle of Together. But this is a little trick that I played on a bunch of chefs and a couple of smells, which is I take orange juice, and it doesn't matter. If you don't have orange juice, use, I don't know, cranberry juice, whatever. And then just pour a little bit of just the juice into a cup like this. You can see like there's nothing but juice. And then take a tiny little bit from your little bottle of Together, and it doesn't need a whole lot. Just maybe a 1-to-3 ratio, like this kind of thing, like about that much.
Like a tiny bit.
Like that much. And then the same thing, so there's 2 of us here, so we'll do that, 2 of them. And then top it up with the same juice, or, you know, you could use ginger ale, you could use Sprite, I don't care what it is. And then give it a little stir by going in between the 2 of them. And here's the fun part. What I ask people to do, and if you happen to be doing this, is take a little shot of the juice by itself first.
Okay, so Dave's trying it. So
and in our case, we're using orange juice. And orange juice is fun because everybody's had vodka and orange juice before, and they know that what happens when you put vodka into orange juice, it always makes it taste a little bit sour and a little bit boozy. But when you try that with Zirkova Together, it does something entirely different.
It's orangier. It just brings out the fruit. It's more flavorful. And so we gave you an extra bottle. This is what you can play with, because this is revolutionary. So we're a Canadian brand that launched in the LCBO last year, and I'm Ukrainian Canadian, so vodka is my roots, and so we actually brought and discovered the origins and birthplace of vodka. That is where we distill, but we created a Canadian brand that really, you know, honors how people drink it in the old world with the one. But for us in Canada, we love our Caesars, we love our mixed drinks, we love our cocktails. So we wanted to have something that would take any mix that anybody loved, engage with the flavors, enhance, elevate, make it taste better, not boozier. So we encourage you, have fun with it. Like, have fun with it and see the effects. And we've had a lot of fun. If you look at our Facebook videos, we've been exploring this for the last, you know, since we've been isolating, is trying everything from iced teas to infusions to Caesars to homemade mixes. So it's just been a really interesting discovery. So now we're going to get to the Caesar.
Yeah.
So if I can interrupt for just a second, just to let you know, I tried it with Irish cream because that's what was in my fridge, and awesome.
Oh, cool. Did it actually make some of the flavors of the Irish cream?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the whole idea, is that no matter what you mix it with, I find like people will try ginger ale, and the ginger ale will end up tasting like ginger beer.
Like more ginger.
As in all of the flavors kind of leap forward. What I did with a bunch of chefs and somms is we took straight shots of orange juice, and then I made little screwdrivers with the same orange juice and asked them which one had vodka in it, and they all got it wrong because they couldn't believe that a vodka could dilute something and put alcohol into it and yet end up tasting not boozy and more like itself than it did on its own. Which was kind of cool.
It's really an innovation, and it's something that, you know, a small company around the corner has discovered and contributed to a huge vodka category that's never been done before. Like this has never been done. Okay, and now Caesars. So we make them from scratch at home, and I think when you go to all that effort, add the vodka, and you throw it off balance. So this is the opposite effect. So it's really going to enhance all of the flavors.
So we sent out with you Singers, which is another Canadian company. You probably got a vegan version and an extra spicy version, depending on how you like it. The vegan version I find is amazing. Now, here's the thing. If you were making this with Clamato juice you bought at the grocery store, you would have to do a bunch of stuff to it. I find when I'm really lazy, I just take Zirkova together and pour some Singers in it, and I'm done. But you can also have some fun with that. What I like to do is, first of all, is to build the drink into a glass of ice. So always starting with your vodka. So this little mini is exactly 1.5 ounces of vodka. So I'm going to pour that in first into my ice. And then if you want to add some Worcestershire, I'm not going to add any because I'm using Singers. Or your favorite hot sauce, whatever it is. This one is Hurtberry Farms. They're actually another local Ontario company. I'm going to add just a tiny bit because I like things spicy. And so does Catherine. And then you can really play with it here. This is where I like to, you can add a little bit of horseradish, just a dash of that. I like to add pickle juice, or if you love olives, you can add some olive brine. There's horseradish with beet juice. Makes it a bit more red. This is my favorite.
I love beet horseradish. That is a big one that I like to invent with.
Yeah. And so there you go. There's so many things, and then you can get very epic with the actual garnishes. But we'll get to that in a second. So then, you know, I'm going to take this little sampler of the vegan one because we're basically plant-based. Pour it in there, and I'm just going to give that a bit of a stir first in this glass, and you'll notice that I've rimmed the other glass. This is one of my little tricks. So instead of making the drink in the glass, I actually make it another one and then pour it in the other glass. And there you have your Caesar without messing up the rim. And then you can put some really cool garnishes on it. You can get very epic about it. You know, you can put shrimps on it. Like you'll probably see, we can put a celery stalk, a lime in it. You'll probably see all sorts of very epic looking Caesars on the internet if you want to look for them.
Yep.
But
and especially on Canada Day.
Yes. Yeah.
So here you go. Cheers to Burlington Wine Club.
Cheers.
Yeah.
But I'd love to hear some of your ideas around your special ingredients, because Caesars are so much about people's personalities and flavors that they love.
Anyone have any comments about Caesar ingredients that they use?
So actually, there's a place in Oakville that makes spicy asparagus.
Oh wow!
And spicy beans, spicy asparagus. Take one of your Caesars.
Okay. Yep.
Add about a teaspoon of good smoky barbecue sauce to the Clamato or whatever mix you're using. Shaky, shaky, shaky. Toss that in. Stick of asparagus in there. Top notch.
That's not Matt and Steve's, is it?
Matt and Steve. Yes, they make the beans.
Yeah, of course. We love those guys. And they're also, they're right around us. So is Wayne Singer with Singers. It's much easier for you guys in Burlington to get it than it is for us. You can get it at Denninger's. And there's a bunch of other stuff. So if you go on Singer's website, our vodka you can buy at pretty much every LCBO in Burlington, except for I think the one downtown.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's pretty much everywhere.
Just 2 years ago, I cooked for Matt and Steve at their place.
What's that?
I cooked for Matt and Steve at their place. Well, at their families, they're not together, but I cooked for Matt, his wife, Steve, and his wife at their house about 2 years ago.
That's
oh my
awesome,
gosh. Yeah, they're so wonderful. They're so nice.
Okay, are there any questions? So Marilyn, Morag, and Angela, are there any questions that have been written in from people, or shall we go on to the next thing? But as you sip your Caesars.
There was only one question, but it was answered.
Okay.
Well, Teresa, one of the most common questions, like I'm sure people wonder in their mind, is like, why are there two vodkas? That's because we're the only ones to have ever done that. And it really comes down to this, is that what makes an awesome sipping vodka and what makes a great cocktail vodka are not exactly the same thing.
Okay.
So they start out as identical twins, just like Catherine
And
and her sister. So it's the exact same spirits, the exact same water. It all comes down to filtration and finishing, where we can actually manipulate the mouthfeel and the aromatics to either be beneficial as a mixer, like Zirkova Together, the red label, or to be extremely mellow and complex. Well, it's the same complexity, but more noticeable as complexity in the black bottle Zirkova 1. So you might have some fun trying them.
And I just want to thank you for having us. I think everybody recognizes, I mean, we're all trying to support our local industries, and there's so much happening in this whole food, wine, spirit space. So thank you for supporting us. We're a local company, and it's not easy right now. You know, we've seen a big rise in the big brands. Just, you know, people aren't shopping in the same way.
Yep.
And so the nice thing is also in this time of like looking for good value, we are the only ultra premium. We're the number 4 in vodkas over 30, but we're very accessible in terms of our price. So instead of $50, $30 on the shelf.
Awesome. And you're in all the LCBOs, right?
And don't throw out your corks, because these are very valuable to seal your wine bottles with.
Okay.
Have a wonderful rest of your evening.
All right.
Thank you.
Feel free to join us for the rest of the meeting, or head out for your evening as well.
Oh, thank you.
Anyway, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bet you don't have a kit.
Oh, we don't have the kit.
Yes. Oh, well. Next
But thank
time.
you so much.
Next time. Okay. Take care.
Take care.
All right.
Oh.
That's great.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So did everybody enjoy the vodka?
Yes.
Yeah. And different vodkas, right? Okay. So back to kind of the normal meeting, and I'll be really brief, and then we'll get to the wines. So recent events, we had the wine rack, Marco Piccolo. Who was here for that? Like lots of people? Almost the same crowd? He was good, yeah? Anyway, coming up next, so next month, in a sense, we have Hobbs Company again, but representing different people. So it's July is always for us Ontario wineries. So we're going to have at least 4 wineries. And if you happen to have a favorite winery that you think might be interested in this, please send me an email. We have 4 now. We can probably grow to 6. But let me know if you have a special winery that you think should be showcased next month. And Chef Maggie's going to be doing the video and the food kit for us. And of course, tonight we have Nancy Kennedy from Hobbs Company, and we have Chef Mike's Risotto Milanese video. So for those, so I know some of you made the risotto already, and others might be just waiting to see the video, and then we'll make it on the weekend. So we're going to show you that video tonight.
Neat.
Okay. In fact, Marilyn, that's your cue to, we'll switch over to the risotto video.
Well, I wondered, Teresa, if you wanted to introduce the Chenin Blanc with the salad first.
Oh, okay. Just so we have, yep. All right. So let me finish with this. So wine events and promotions. So just to let you know, we do have a promotion site as part of the website. And so as our partners have specials, they send them to us and we put them on this site. So the promotion site, the event, any event that we have or any of our new meetings go up on events. Facebook, we're getting a little more active with Facebook. Instagram's still a little bit light, but we're working on it. Wine Country Ontario. So Danielle mentioned to us that Wine Country Ontario is not putting out their formal booklet this year, but what you can do is go to their website and see what they have to offer. And then we have our YouTube channel, and this is where we have Chef Mike's video. So I'll come back to that. Oops. Okay. So just in case you finished the Caesars and you're ready for a wine, the Franche-Comté Chenin Blanc is the first of the 3 wines. And in your kit, you will have a salad. And if you order the wine, then you will have that. Nancy, did you want to say a couple words about the Chenin Blanc or the
Sure.
Franche-Comté region?
Actually, I wondered, because you and I had sort of chatted. Hi, everyone.
Hi, this is Nancy. Nancy Kennedy
for our
from
wine
Hobbs
tasting.
Company. Yep.
And I've got the sun behind me. Hang on, I got to move.
Aha.
There we go.
There you
Either
go.
that or I've got an aura around me. Anyway,
I'd go with that.
my pleasure to be here with you tonight. And I'm really glad we're all safe at home because we're having a lot of alcohol tonight. It's really good that we're at home. So we're going to have some fun tonight and travel a little bit of the Northern Hemisphere, a little bit of the Southern. And we're going to start with a South African Chenin Blanc, and it's from Franche-Comté, which is, let's see, I switched these around. I actually had the Chenin Blanc second because I thought the Sauvé was a little lighter, but it doesn't matter.
Yep.
So it's from Franche-Comté, which is Niagara's version of the Food and Wine region in South Africa. It's located about 30 minutes from Cape Town. The winery is located in the historic mill of La Côte. That whole area had old mill houses. They were a very common feature on the landscape, centuries ago. And their winery is actually located in one of the mills called La Côte. It was restored in 1989 in conjunction with the Franche-Comté Conservation Trust Fund. This wine is lovely, delightful, crisp, clean. It underwent a long, cool fermentation in stainless steel, followed by 4 months on the lees, which occasional stirring, and it adds a little bit of added richness and complexity to the wine. It has vibrant pineapple, fleshy peach, nectarine, honeysuckle aromas, supported by a pure line of ripe citrus and tropical fruit. While it's a little bit subdued at first, it blossoms on the palate and it finishes with a really nice zesty freshness and grace. It's great with sushi, roast chicken, creamy pastas, veal schnitzel. It's intended to enjoy in its early days, in its youth, but it can be cellared up to 4 years. So if you've got, I'm gonna run and get my wine in the fridge. I don't have, you want to pour yours if it's already poured?
Absolutely. So get it poured. And so the Franche-Comté Chenin Blanc, so it is, so I was kind of with Nancy. I was worried that the Chenin Blanc and the Sauvé should be reversed. And so I tasted them earlier and went, oh, no, So the Soave with the risotto is a little bit heavier and better. The Chenin Blanc is light, fruity, friendly,
Mhm.
and we're serving it with the salad. And I will have you know, Carl, I'm hoping they've joined us at this point. They were having trouble getting on. Normally, Dorothy makes our salads, but she had an injury yesterday, so she couldn't join us, which like is one time in 5 years. Anyway, Carl made the salad, and he called himself the salad queen because he was replacing Dorothy. Oh, there you are. Perfect.
Oh, way to go, Carl. Way to go.
Just in time. Just in time. So anyway, so Carl made the salad, and it was actually kind of interesting because I had put together kind of a bland salad, and Carl says, he looks around my garden and he says, do you want some herbs from around here? Do you want some salt and pepper? And so he went and picked herbs from the garden, all around the garden, and added some salt and pepper and put it all together. And so anyway, the salad's got a little bit of bite to it, but not so much to overpower the Chenin Blanc, which is a light, friendly wine.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, Santé. Thank you, Carl.
Okay.
And Nancy, cheers.
Yeah. Pretty wine. I hope you all enjoy it. It's lovely. In fact, all the wines we're having tonight are independently owned, either by an individual or a family. All very good quality, a very good value. So something that you can drink every day, except for the last one. That one's a little bit.
My favorite.
It's her favorite. It's Teresa's favorite. And that's the only one that I would decant. The rest just open and serve. They're so easy and delicious. And so they're all handcrafted. You know, they're made as well at this entry level as they would be at a more premium level. They don't cut corners. It's all well-made, handcrafted wines.
Yeah.
The Chenin Blanc, I love Chenin Blanc. It's so pretty. It's so aromatic, and it's got a lovely long tropical finish. Very clean, refreshing in the summer. Save some in your bottle. Tomorrow's going to be hot. Have some tomorrow. Perfect. So I'll move on to the Sauvé. So this is from Alfa Zeta, and it's a 2018 Sauvé. It's from Veneto, northeast Italy. It's got a maritime climate, so the winds come in from a southern ocean through Lake Alexandrina, which keeps the temperatures warmer in the winter and cooler in the summer. This wine, Alfa Zeta, was created in 1999 by a UK wine importer, David Gleave. He's a master of wine, and his partner, a winemaker, Matt Thompson, together making great wine at an everyday price to express the character of the grape and of the land. The flavors of the grape shine through in the glass. Matt works with a local Veronese grape grower in the hillside vineyards to select parcels of fruit. They have reduced their yields and pick grapes later to improve the quality and ripen the flavors. This is made from 100% Garrinega, the main grape varietal in the Sauvé DOC appellation. A bright, fresh wine with delicate almond blossom and citrus aromas and soft orchard fruit flavors, making it the perfect aperitif, easy to enjoy with light salads, fish, and fusion food. So nice and crisp and clean again, a little bit of acidity, great fruit, wonderful valued wine.
Okay. And so and
let me show you the bottle just in case you didn't get, this is what it looks like. So it's got, all their wines have the big initial for what's in the bottle. So the S obviously is for Sauvé. So this is the lovely bottle.
Awesome.
Is there any questions about that one at all, or are we happy to keep going?
And this is the pairing with the Risotto Milanese by Chef Mike. So I think at this point, while people are sipping their Soave, and maybe even the Chenin Blanc, and the salad behind the scenes, we will show the video for the Risotto Milanese. So let's, Marilyn, let's go for it.
Teresa, I'm going to just show, it's a 6.5-minute video on how to make the Risotto Milanese.
Hi everybody, Chef Mike here for the Burlington Wine Club. Today we're going to make one of my favorite dishes for this meeting, risotto. Now this is be a special one, Risotto Milanese, but risotto is a good place to start. Your kit comes with 3 different items. One's half a cup of rice, quarter cup of cheese, and the last container contains a bouillon cube and some saffron. That's all you're going to need from the club to make your own risotto. You're going to need about half a cup of fresh chopped onion, a quarter cup of garlic, or whatever, how much you want to put in. I got 3 or 4 good cloves in here. That's what I like. First thing you do, take your bouillon cube, take your saffron, and it goes to about 3 cups of water. If you want to already use stock, that's completely up to you. This goes on the stove, gets hot. Also, turn your oven on to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You've checked your oven for calibration, right? You know it's around 400? If not, check your oven at least once a year. Now comes the actual mechanics of making risotto Milanese. What makes it risotto Milanese is that traditionally, risotto does not have really expensive ingredients in it because usually it's actually a poverty food. A little goes a long way. But the Milanese version has saffron, which is very, very exclusive stuff, but readily available. Adds a lovely, interesting flavor. What we're going to do now, I've got some butter, I've got a little bit of oil. I like to use a combination of the two. And we're going to saute off our onions and garlic. Now, we do not want to color them. We simply want them to be brown. Now, I'm using butter, so there's a lovely brown butter sauce for this. In just a few minutes, your next step is to add the rice. That should take 2, 3, 5 minutes, somewhere in there. After that, take your arborio rice, dump it all in, and you want to toast your rice, which means you want to get it all surrounded in all that butter and oil. That helps the shell of the rice to pop open, giving that lovely creamy starch that makes for creamy risotto. This should take about 2 minutes. So after you've toasted for a minute or 2, you normally would add a quarter cup of your favorite wine, whatever you like to have. That also adds a layer of acid to the risotto itself. I'm not going to do that because I prefer to actually drink my wine than to cook with. But traditionally, the wine that you're going to serve with the meal is the wine you want to use in here. Quarter cup, let it absorb is perfectly fine. If you go down a different road like I'm going to do, now you bring your stock over that you bloom with the cube and the saffron, and you want to add about 3/4 of it in here. Now each one of those cubes makes about 3 cups. And this is where, traditionally in risotto, you would do a ladle. I'm going to show you a better way to do it. That's why you turned your oven on earlier. Here's your cheese, Parmesan cheese. You can use Asiago, you can use other ones if you want. I like the flavor of Parmesan. That's my personal favorite thing. In this goes, I'm going to stir this just to combine it. I'm not going to add any salt and pepper yet because I don't know how much it's actually going to need because the stock tends to be pretty salty. And once that's done, remember the oven you turned on at 400 earlier? This entire pan goes in the oven for 15 minutes. Most people don't make risotto at home. They think it's too hard, it takes too long, there's too many steps, it takes too many skills in the kitchen. The reality is risotto is actually very easy. By frying the onions, frying the garlic, toasting the rice, and making the stock over there, you've done 80 or 90% of the work already. Now, traditionally, risotto is made one step at a time. You do a ladle, you let it soak, you do a ladle, you let it soak, and that's where the misconception about how long it actually takes comes from. Let me show you a chef hack to solve that problem. Your time in the oven is going to vary a little bit, but it's going to be between 22 and about 25 minutes. The same amount of time you would do if you're doing it ladle by ladle by ladle, but this is far, far less work. And for chefs like me, less work is better. We're going to take that time to do other things. For example, I just cleaned up around here. You always want to clean as you go. It makes things easier at the end of the night. Now, when it comes to risotto though, there's a little trick we chefs do, is you can actually do what's called para cooking. That means you cook it 3/4 of the way and then stop it. When you've done that, if you're doing, for example, a dinner party that evening, in the morning at 9, 10 o'clock, when you've got some time, you can make your rice 80% of the way, hold it cold, and then finish it off later on. And you simply finish it by adding a little more stock and a little more cheese and checking your seasoning. I'll show you that in just a minute. So that has been in the oven for about 15 minutes at 400. Now, you'll notice this is an oven-proof pan. I didn't specify that before, but I really hope that everybody has one of these. If you haven't got an oven-proof pan, what you can actually do is cheat
use aluminum foil and wrap your existing handles of the nonstick pans. But for the $100 one of these things costs, it's a once in a lifetime investment. So before I talked about stopping the rice partway through, this is where you would stop the rice. Right here, you take this, pour this into a big bowl so it cools rapidly, and then finish it off by adding stock and baking it off the afternoon that your guests show up. I'm gonna cook this all the way through. Now, see how creamy this got? I kept back some of my stock. Right now, I'm gonna add the rest of my stock here. Keep back just a few tablespoons. And I'm gonna take this chance, just taste it a little bit. Yeah, that bouillon cube's got enough salt. It doesn't need any more salt. This was back in the oven for 10 minutes, and then we should be done. So there's our second batch of cooking, about 10 more minutes. You'll see, notice now it's gotten very creamy, rich. This is still a little bit thin, but this will thicken up as it cools. Now at this point in time, this is risotto Milanese, traditionally. You would add a little more saffron, a little more cheese if you want, but this is just the starting place for a dish like this. Fresh lobster. It's been cooked, chopped up, tossed in here. Sweet peas tossed in here, it's fantastic. I do those are my personal favorites to do. You can do, if you have any leftover cooked up chicken, that's how I chop it up. As long as it's cooked, throw it in there. The sauce will actually adhere to it, it'll make it lovely and creamy and rich. Anything you want this to be, you make this your own. Now I made this vegetarian because I used a vegetarian cube. You can make this vegan by using olive oil and certain cheeses you can actually buy. If you want to make it super meaty, you can add beef and chicken stock as opposed to the vegetable stock that I used. Lots of options. Make this your own. Please enjoy it and try it out. It's not that hard. Best part is you make lots of it. It keeps pretty well in the fridge for 4 or 5 days. So it's a great way to make your meals once for the week. So you can even see now, just in that few minutes, how stirred it's gotten creamier and richer. I know it doesn't need any seasoning because my stock cubes has a lot of seasoning in it. But again, if you want to taste it, like a little more salt, that's up to you. Never forget though, Parmesan cheese also is quite salty. I'll be on the call on Thursday night for the Zoom meeting if you have any questions. If not, just email me, mike@chefmike.ca. Have a great time. Hope you enjoy this.
Thank you so much, Chef Mike. And so how many people actually made the risotto for tonight? Send a message through chat. Anyway, hopefully, and if you didn't, good, perfect, more egg. So you can do a thumbs up as well on your screen. Awesome.
Yeah, Beth.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so the third wine, Nancy, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Oh, there.
There we go.
And I answered my own question. I unmuted myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've got my Joy t-shirt on. Yay. So we're having a little something special. Sparkling wine in a can. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but it's a beautiful package. And it's very lovely, pretty, whimsical. And it's, let me just pop this. I know some of you have already started without me, and that's great because we want to put a little bit of joy in everybody's life, especially right now. Isn't that pretty?
Absolutely. And in all fairness, Nancy, this
yes.
crowd's used to starting with a sparkling.
Wonderful.
So
the other one that they make
might
is,
have done that.
This is actually a sparkling Shiraz, but they don't focus on the grape because it might change from year to year. This just happens to be a Shiraz. And the other one sparkling they make is a Riesling. And they've just launched brand new this spring. It's called Savvy Society. And it's actually Sauvignon Blanc. It's not sparkling, but it's Sauvignon Blanc in the can. And it's an 8-ounce single serving. And fantastic for all your takeouts and picnics and outdoors. It's wonderful. Anyway, let me tell you a little about the people and a little about the wine. So Joy Sparkling Rosé. Grapes grown are from various sites in New Zealand and Australia. The founders, Kath and Chris Archer, are passionate about joy. They represent bottled happiness. We love Joy for their portability and sheer convenience. On glittering, glamorous days in a glass and on idyllic days accompanied by a picnic or at the beach. Imbibe and enjoy. Chris is the winemaker, entrepreneur, and chief adventurer. Chris has many titles, but at Joy, he is the inventor of the most disruptive wine in the industry. Joy celebrates the day. Antidote to the ordinary. It sings the promise of amusement yet to come. They are wines to release a little mischief. Live for today is their motto, and it's right at the bottom of the can. Delightfully fresh, crisp, and fruity sparkling. It's a medium-bodied rosé, low alcohol at around 10%. It's delightfully aromatic, chic, and spirited. Joy is inspired by the romance and tranquility of the landscape and vitality of the spirit. Ruby ripe fruit on the palate exhibits floral notes, rose petal, raspberry, and pomegranate. It's fresh and clean with good acidity to carry the fruit flavor with the bubbles. So cheers, Sante, chin chin.
Sante.
Hope you
Cheers.
love it.
Yep.
Sante.
Okay.
Love it.
And
Available at the LCBO for $4.95.
And so while we're isolated and people at home, if you're on your own, like so you want sparkling, as we all do, I think. So a can is great because we can't, if we're by ourselves or whatever, we can't always open a whole bottle. So
Exactly.
the cans are perfect. Love it. And the pairing for this, and I had it earlier, and I love it. So Chef Mike contributed a second item to tonight's kit, and that's the Parmesan shortbreads. So the Parmesan shortbreads and the sparkling are awesome together. There's a saltiness to the Parmesan shortbreads that just, well, you know, sparkling and chips and salt and everything else, but Parmesan shortbreads just take it up a level. So please try a Parmesan shortbread with your sparkling Joy tonight.
Joy.
Yeah.
Love shortbread.
Teresa,
Life is good. Pardon?
did you talk about the pairing with the risotto?
So I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm not unmuted. Did you talk about the pairing with the risotto or no?
So the Suave was with the risotto. So of course the kits, all your risotto kits were for the Suave. And to me, the Suave had an earthiness to it. There was a depth to it. And it just worked with the risotto. And Mike and Marilyn will tell you, oh my goodness, I had a panic attack last week. I went, are the pairings right? I think maybe it should be the Chenin Blanc with the risotto and the Suave with the salad. And I had to get both of the wines and try them with the foods. And then I went, relax. Yeah. And not only that, my darling husband made me taste them blind and do the foods. Yes, he's trying to keep me on my toes at top of my game. Anyway, so just to let you know, I tasted the wines blind. I tasted the foods, and those were the matches. Anyway.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It's a tough job.
May I ask a quick question, please? I was
Absolutely.
Can we please get the recipe for those shortbreads? They are out of this world.
Ooh.
Okay, so first of all, the recipe is in the Burlington Wine Club calendar.
That's right, I did see them. Yeah, we have it.
So if you have the calendar or you're interested in the calendar, you can get it there, but you can also get it from Chef Mike's website. Okay, fine.
Thank you, Chef Mike. Mike, they're delicious.
They are, aren't they good?
Yummy.
And they're perfect with the sparkling. Like if
Thanks.
you start,
Delicious.
if you're going to
Very
start
good.
an evening and want something different, the Parmesan shortbreads work.
I have one criticism.
Not enough.
There were only 2 of them in the person.
Next time,
Yep.
Carla, bring some to your house.
Perfect.
Interesting.
Okay.
Shortbreads, they will go with a red wine if you're not a sparkling fan. They will go with
Oh, good, yeah, that'd be great.
the cheese.
That'd be very good.
But we'll move on to
Right?
the red
Okay.
flight is where at.
Oh, great, okay, go forward.
Okay.
Oh, the-
So we have a second flight of wines.
Oh, well,
So we have a Carmenere, a Shiraz, and a Saint-Emilion, which is a Bordeaux blend, of course. And so I hope everybody heated up their shepherd's pie. It was fully cooked. You could eat it cold, but it's better hot. So the shepherd's pie is the first, the cheddar cheese and dark chocolate as always. And we have a Carmenere. Nancy, talk to us about the Carmenere.
Oh, interesting story, actually. So we're going down to the Southern Hemisphere. We're going to stay there because that's where Joy was from. So we're going to try a little Carmenere from, oh, wait, wrong one. Carmenere from Valendigno, Chile. So a story of Carmenere was when the French first started going down to Chile to check out the wine regions, they thought that this grape was Merlot. Well, it ensued as a, so it's actually the indigenous grape of Chile, and they did a DNA on it, and it turned out to be Carmenere, not Merlot at all. But it's almost like the twin brother of Merlot. It's a medium-bodied, lovely fruit, easy drinking wine. So this Carmenere is the 2018 from the Mal Valley in Chile. Mal Valley is the largest wine region next to the Central Valley. It's 75,000 acres. It's made by our friends at Sol de Andes in Chile. So it's almost like a negociant where they have their own grapes, but there's another production facility that makes the wine for them. So the wine highlights quality and synergy of the specific areas and grape varieties. Wine Align, that we all know, named it one of the top reds under $20, as well as working hard to minimize its environmental impact. Valendigno has developed a project in conjunction with the Mal regional government to save the endangered species of parrots, and I'm going to get the pronunciation wrong, I'm sure, named the Trakahu parrot. Anyway, let's talk about the wine. I hope you've got some in your glass. Very pleasant aromas of dark fruit, spice, and chocolate. The palate is very soft with good intensity and structure. It's a great little red that will work with or without food and pairs lovely with a roasted and grilled red meats, casseroles, and pizza. So have you tried it? Has anybody tried it and has a comment?
It's lovely.
Or are you trying it for the
Yeah, it's very
time?
lovely.
Mhm.
So all of these wines that we're drinking tonight, except for the Joy, are private consignment orders only, non-LCBO. So we try to source out people that, pardon me?
I said, which is awesome. Because we
Yeah.
get them and the rest of the world doesn't.
No, and they're really good value. And we source out these family suppliers that have the same vision we do for really good, small wine, excellent crafted, good value wines. That's great. Have you had your shepherd's pie? How is the pairing, Teresa?
Yeah. So folks, did you heat up your shepherd's pie? Do you have it? Yep.
It's a
Is
great.
it okay?
Oh, it's delicious, and it goes
Yeah.
really
And works with the wine?
very much.
Good.
Can I ask a question? The shepherd's pie, is it lamb, beef, or pork?
So, so normally when I make shepherd's pie, I make it with lamb because it's shepherd's pie and that's the way it should be. But
Yeah.
we have, like, not everyone in our club likes lamb. So, and
Right.
a very Canadian version of shepherd's pie is with beef.
Yes.
So I made it with beef.
Great.
So, you can all eat it.
Mhm.
Martin and Beth, you can eat it.
Delicious.
You know,
Anyway. But yes, normally I would make it with lamb, but for my club, I make it with beef.
Great. Well, because of the style of it being ground meat, it works really well with a medium-bodied bread.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, no, the Carmenere is lovely.
Very good.
and it sounds like the shepherd pie is
Hmm.
too.
And the other thing I
So
would
do you
say
want me to
is,
move right in?
pardon?
Go ahead.
So I was just going to say, the other thing I would say is, with the shepherd's pie, save a bite or two to have with the Shiraz.
Too late.
Yes, great idea.
But
They both
normally-
would work well.
So shepherd's pie, I would and if it's lamb, I would normally serve with the Shiraz. And I would have reversed them, but the Carmenere is a little bit lighter than the Shiraz. Anyway, try the shepherd's pie with the Shiraz as well, along with the cheddar cheese. Anyway, so talk to us about the tall poppy, and one of my favorites, Australian Shiraz.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we do that,
Oh,
there's a question from Pam about spices.
Mm.
Pam, are you asking about the spices in the shepherd's pie and how it relates to the Carmenere? I think we should stop there and maybe answer that question.
Okay, so first of all, I will say my shepherd's pie is a little bit different than the traditional shepherd's pie. And part of that is because of the Carmenere, and part of that is because I think a traditional English shepherd's pie is a tad boring. So the spices in the shepherd's pie include nutmeg and cinnamon, which is what you're probably tasting that goes with the Carmenere.
Thank you for that. I think you move on to the tall poppy
Is
now.
that okay?
okay. Thanks, Marilyn. So this is tall poppy. If you haven't got a bottle in front of you and haven't already got it in your glass. So I will pour myself some and tell you a little bit about tall poppy, 2018 Hillside Shiraz. So it is a single vineyard. This is from the Victoria area of Southeast Australia, specifically the Murray-Darling Basin. Those are the two rivers. There's the Murray River and the Darling River, and it's where the two rivers come together. And only the finest parcels of the Langhorne Creek Shiraz were selected for this blend. It is fermented in a sweep arm fermenters and then pressed off to tank to complete the malolactic fermentation. Aged in older American oak barrels for 6 months, a Shiraz of deep ruby color with aromas of blackberries and plums. The palate is highlighted by sweet berry flavors. It is well balanced with fine tannins, oak, and soft, lingering, acidic finish. So it's a great food wine. It's great with lamb, beef, pasta, and enjoy now, and it will reward with medium cellaring. So the interesting thing about Shiraz is it's also in the old world, this is new world. In the old world, it's known as Syrah. And some of the differences for that is it's the same grape varietal, and in the French world and old world, they use obviously French oak barrels. So there's a little bit more elegance on the French side of Syrah and more of a white pepper. And in the new world, it's much more robust oak and like a cracked black pepper. So if you've got something that's kind of demanding something more robust, I would go with no New World, but if you've got something that's a little bit more elegant, like the perfect marriage for Shiraz and Syrah's lamb. That's Zen in this Shiraz world. So yeah, I just think it's an interesting point to note that it's the same grape, but different styles of winemaking.
Absolutely. Excellent. And Shiraz is hot climate typically, and Syrah is cool climate.
Right.
But I will say this, if I'm having lamb, I want a Shiraz.
There you go.
Absolutely.
This is delicious. I haven't had this in a really long time, so I'm going, wow, why aren't I buying it? This is really good.
Yep. Absolutely.
Great on its own and with food.
Yep. Okay, so the third red. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Oh, you've been waiting for this, haven't you?
Say a word. So Nancy, talk about this wine.
Oh, I'd love to.
Our ending wine with dark chocolate, because we always end our big bold reds with dark chocolate, but this would go with so many things, of course.
This is an absolutely beautiful wine, and we're so lucky to have this tonight because it's a 6-year-old wine, which is fabulous. It's a 2014 from Chateau Roudier, and it's a family-owned winery, family-owned chateau in Saint-Emilion, which is on the right bank, where Merlot is prominent in all the Bordeaux wines from the right bank. So Saint-Emilion is a Merlot-based wine, no matter what Saint-Emilion wine you're buying, it's predominantly Merlot, which is the reverse if you're on the left bank and it's predominantly Cab Sauv. So let's enjoy this. This is gorgeous. So this particular wine is 65% Merlot, 25% Cab Franc, and only 10% Cab Sauv. So Chateau Roudier is owned by the Cap de Morla generations. Chateau Roudier draws on 400 centuries of viticulture in the terroirs of Saint-Emilion. Their Grand Cru Bordeaux are the brand's flagship wines. Chateau Roudier is committed to respecting nature to improve permanently their environmental performance. Each vintage is an invitation to travel to the past. Rain, sun, wind, all climatic elements allowed the vines to flourish, to give birth to the grape. In each wine resides a memory of the year of work. This is a rich, ripe, and luscious red berry and plum fruit on the nose. The palate is soft with raspberry, blackberry, fig, and plum. Vanilla lingers on the palate with alcohol warmth. Doesn't that just sound so all warm and fuzzy? The wine should be safe to age up to 10 years in the bottle. If the wines are 5 years and older, which this is a 2014, so you can drink, 30 minutes after opening. Decanting the wine, we'll talk a little bit about decanting. None of the previous reds need decanting at all. Decanting wine releases aromas. Start spinning the wine in your glass. First, to develop the diversity of the most volatile aromas. By doing so, you ensure optimum tasting. The wine is more supple tasting and tannins less marked and complex aromas of elegance and freshness. It's wonderful with grilled meats, a classic pairing with hard cheeses, and matches well with game, poultry, and rabbit dishes. Avoid acidic foods and overly sweet dishes as that enhances the tannins and makes it seem much more astringent and dry. So this is a gorgeous little Bordeaux wine, and it's 6 years old, which is fabulous. I'm so happy that we have this to share with you tonight. I hope you love it as much as Teresa does, and I do too.
So actually, what I will say about this wine is last night was Dave's and my 31st wedding anniversary.
Cheers.
And we had a bottle of champagne and then a bottle of this Saint-Emilion.
Lovely.
Need I say more?
No.
Anyway,
Very
so
There you have
yeah. Enjoy. Okay. Oh my goodness. Rob, I think you're up. Marilyn, could you unmute Rob? Wherever he is.
Just one moment.
10 years, Beth.
Pardon?
Hello, am I on?
You are on, sir. Did you enjoy
it's
the
time-
evening?
Oh, I gave you a big thumbs up on your belated happy anniversary.
Thank you. I
So
think I'll
thank
keep
you
him.
to John, Nancy, and Chef Mike. Thanks very much. To our volunteers, our co-hosts, Angela, Marilyn, Moray, thank you so much. For the food and wine kits, thanks to Lorraine, Kathy, Carl, and Ann. For wine buyers, order forms will be sent. Let Angela know what you would like for delivery to Maryland's. Check the promo page for specials. Next month, of course, Niagara Wineries and Chef Maggie. Wine and food pairings for pickup at Maryland's. See you next month.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Awesome.
Can I just thank everyone so much? This is really cool. Like, I'm so used to being I was in front of you last spring, and your membership are just amazing people. Just lovely to work with and speak with and share with. And I love that you had me back in this format, and it works. It's really cool that we're doing this.
Thank
You guys have made it work, and I give you all the credit. It's amazing. You've done a fabulous job.
Hey, tell your friends we're open.
I will. I'm joining.
You know what? Video, we can have unlimited number of people.
Aw, wonderful.
Great selection of wines,
Awesome.
Nancy. Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Rob.
Nancy, there was a question.
Yes.
Was the Chateau, the last wine we had was exceptional. There was a question, how long could you cellar this?
Well, you know, it says up to 10 years, but you know what? It's already 6 years old, and it's fabulous. And just, you know, if you're still finding it a little bit tannic, I'm not, because once you pair it with, you know, your beef or lamb or whatever you're having it with, it needs those tannins to cut through the meat. So I think right now, 6-7 years is optimum,
Thank you for that.
because the fruit starts to fall off if you wait too long. You'll lose the fruitiness and the freshness.
So Teresa, there was a question from the members, how can they order more of what they've had tonight?
Well, Teresa, they can either go through you if you're, oh, Teresa's talking, but we can't hear her. She's muted herself.
Hello.
There you are.
Okay.
Teresa, tell us how we can order more.
Okay, so Angela is going to send out an order form. We're going to send out a follow-up email tomorrow with an order form. So there's plenty of opportunity to order more. I did want to make a comment about the Saint-Emilion. So it's a 2014 Saint-Emilion. Yes, I think it's drinking now, but it's also good for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you saying next week?
Sure.
Good point. You realize 99% of wines are drunk within the day they're purchased.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But you know what? Nah, I have 2005s. I have 2000 wines. Like, so 2014 to me is young.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but it's also, it's drinking well now and for the next couple of years.
Just decant it longer.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna wait.
If you can't, you really want to open it, go ahead.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, but this is, of course, actually, the Carmenere is great. It's a Carmenere,
Hmm.
which, like, I love. The Shiraz is an Australian Shiraz. So you have to understand, I picked these wines, right? So I like them.
Right. Good
So an
pick.
Australian Shiraz and then a Saint-Emilion and one of the right age and whatever. And
Really good value too.
Suave
Teresa.
goes, yeah. No. Yep.
Good
Order
pick.
a case of each, people.
Good value wines that she picked, knowing her club members. She wanted to have a certain price point that you had good quality for good value, and I think she did a great job.
Anyway,
Excellent.
did my best. Enjoy.
You did. Cheers. Thank you.
And for members, see you next month. If I'm not talking to you before.
Teresa,
Yes.
about next month, could you just tell us a little bit more?
So
yes. Okay.
which wineries are already on board for next month?
It's Niagara, we know.
Right.
So Niagara Winery, so Creekside, Featherstone, Lakeview. That's it. But only, it's like, there will not be a problem getting winery.
Okay, so if we
those are the three that are committed, because the problem is I have to have people that can do single serve options.
right.
Like the vodkas and the
Joy.
yeah, and the Joy. Yes, absolutely. Like, it was perfect.
Did you like your
That's anyway.
wine kits?
Pardon?
Did you like the food and wine kits?
Yeah, lovely. Wonderful.
Yes, please answer.
Or you can use your reactions in the bottom. You can use a thumbs up or a. Yeah, we hope that they
Exceed the expectations.
There's a thumbs. Good.
I'm good.
Very good.
Oh.
Very good, indeed.
Thank you to all the
Lovely.
volunteers that put it together, and we are under Teresa's guidance putting it all together as we do.
Yep.
He's the brains of it all. We just do what her leadership tells us to do.
She's the brain, we're the muscle.
Thank you,
Anyway,
Chef
you
Mike.
know what? I love the fact that this is happening. I just
Word.
like it's good. Anyway,
May I just make a quick comment? I just wanted
Yes.
to say, next month we have Creekside, and currently they have a special right now. If you order 6 bottles or more, it's free shipping. And they have a couple of, I know Father's Day's already gone by, but they still have their Father's Day special right now as well. So Creekside is one of our local partners, right?
yeah, and they're coming out next month, and they're putting their specials out on the. They've let us know any of the specials that they have. Yep. Yeah. Anyway, all good.
That was great.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Everybody.
Night.
Good night.
Good night, Chris's.
If not
We're gonna
before.
call you.
We'll call you,
We're gonna
Randy
call
Carl.
you.
Okay, please.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Good
Night.
night.
Take care. Everybody
Right.
stay safe. Have fun.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye, Sue.
Drink lots of wine.
Bye,
Support
Judy.
local. Support local.
Bye, Danielle.
Absolutely.
Bye.
Bye.